Guys, welcome back to Agohp Real, where we talk about real issues, real content, unedited for 8 to 12 minutes. We're going to rage today about the United Kingdom. And, well, please stick around until the end because you're going to learn something important today. Generally, I'm really grateful for the existence of the United Kingdom, as they have brought the English language to the world. Our little conquerors who really love to colonize Earth. Because of them, we have the English language spread to over 100 countries probably. Plus all the research, any research that actually means anything that's significant is conducted in English too. So we need to give them a little bit of a break and be grateful for that at the beginning. But then, this is also one of the most developed nations with the best legal system, the best tax system, the best business system. Look at all their colonies like Hong Kong, Singapore, etc. They are fucking crushing it. They're winning. But why is the UK going down the toilet? What the hell is going on in England? Well, guys, I moved to London in October 2015. I'm originally from Germany, which is going down the toilet as well, but not as much as the UK. And there is a few reasons for it. So firstly, let's just unpack what's actually was happening there 10 years ago and what's happening today. So 10 years ago, specifically London, it's a city that's over 2,000 years old with incredible infrastructure, and every company of the S&P 500 was based in London, operating their European headquarters from this incredible city. All right. Also, London was the center of finance for the entire European continent. Nothing could compete with it, not ever. Also, London has some very specific regions like the City of London and Canary Wharf, where banks can settle with specific regulatory benefits compared to anywhere else in Europe. So it's not a coincidence that big business settled down in the UK and in London specifically. So that drew a lot of jobs, a lot of high-paid jobs into the UK, into London as a postcode. So they were doing really well for a very long time, decades actually. Decades over decades, London was booming, real estate was booming, business was booming. But like everything needs to have an end, unfortunately. Yeah, we are coming towards the finish line. And what was really setting things up for the loss was actually the mayor. Can you please stop typing? Thank you. It was actually this mayor that came into power, I believe. Well, Boris Johnson was already a bit of a clown. We're going to come to this in a little bit. But Boris Johnson was in power in London. And then after Sadiq Khan came into power, and everything changed in this city. Also, politics changed. And what is currently causing a lot of problems, guys, you need to understand that the UK, it's actually the closest country in the developed world to a revolution. So it's very close to civil unrest. You guys haven't experienced that in your lifetime. I haven't neither, but I lived in Ukraine, I lived in Russia, I lived in Mexico. I've seen shit. So, well, a civil war might happen in the UK very soon because of the dynamics and the regulatory environment and the laws the current government is putting in place. So, 10 years ago, you could live in London, have a very nice job, there was a lot of work, high-paid job, rents were expensive but not that bad. But after lockdowns, after COVID, this is when shit hit the fan. So Boris Johnson was not only the mayor of London this time, he became prime minister, and he decided to lock down the entire island. The UK is an island. So what happens if you lock down an island? Well, it completely gets isolated from the rest of the world. So that means there's no trade, no more jobs, no more work. Everybody gets poor, but everybody has to continue paying their rent, their mortgages, their bills, their insurance savings, yada, yada, yada. So everybody became poor. The majority of the UK now, today, is at a similar level of wealth like a third world country. And that's the United Kingdom. How can this happen? Yeah, Boris Johnson setting up rules to flush his country down the toilet. He's a corrupt politician who doesn't stand for absolutely anything else than stealing for himself. And the COVID lockdowns, they're the best example. He is the one who knew everything about this disease and still decided to drink on taxpayer money in the house that the taxpayers own, Downing Street, his little White House in the UK, right? So he invited all his friends and his team to booze, to destroy his immune system, and invite all his friends to drink and get fucked up on taxpayer money in the taxpayer house where his children come and visit, or maybe even live, I'm not sure. But anyway, his kids come and go to visit him in Downing Street during a global pandemic where everybody supposedly is dying, but he's drinking, his mate's drinking. Well, guys, if you haven't realized yet that you've been scammed, then you are an idiot. You can't be saved, all right? Moving on. So Boris Johnson has started the massive toilet flush and gathered with Sadiq Khan because London was responsible for 40% of the GDP, more or less, of the entire country. So Sadiq Khan, Boris Johnson together, they fucked up completely the entire country. And as they lost more and more grasps and they lost more and more power on the people, and people started believing less and less into them, the English people, the British people, the Welsh people, the Scottish people, right? The local people were actually their grandparents at the Second World War. They died to protect this country. They actually lost their lives. They gave their lives to hold on to this country. And now these politicians, as these people don't believe in them anymore, they bring in all these immigrants. I mean, what, and they obviously want to cause this unrest. They obviously want to cause these problems because there is a famous saying of the Rothschild family: when there is blood on the streets, you buy the streets. So you want a discount on the European land. All you have to do is create civil unrest. And instead of bombing everything into pieces and then have to rebuild all the houses and factories and shit, now it's way easier to just immigrate all these people and cause civil unrest and then put very, very stupid laws into place that everybody loses control over their life and their assets and their things. And that's exactly what's happening in the UK. So for example, this video that I'm making right now might emotionally upset some people because they're idiots, right? And now in the UK, they could call the police and say, Chris at Agohp on this YouTube video, he said I'm an idiot. I don't even know this person, but he's just being upset, or she's upset for whatever reason, okay? And now I've got a criminal case that I have to defend myself for. I don't even know this person. How can I even upset her? Or him? Or it? We don't know anymore, right? We're a little confused these days who we are. Anyhow, jokes aside, guys, jokes aside, on a serious note. So in the UK, there's no more free speech, and it's a huge problem. And this is only put in place because the government has done so many mistakes that nobody believes them anymore. So they can't have you speak the truth. They can't have you speak your open mind. They can't have you speak your opinion. So they try to just put you in jail. Put you in jail. Oh, you're upsetting someone. Jail. Upsetting someone. Upsetting someone with words. Where is that coming from? We stopped killing each other 100 years ago because now we have a nuclear bomb and it's not worth it anymore to go to war. Because everything is just destroyed. And today, the modern warfare is emotional, upsetting people, or what? What's going on? This is hilarious. But it's not a joke, guys. This is actually what is happening in the UK. So you can open your mouth and speak your mind. Even if it's not true, even if it's wrong, you can't basically say anything anymore because you might upset me. When you're lying, you're upsetting me. You shouldn't be lying. You should be an honest man, a man of integrity and honesty. So now if you're lying, I'm gonna put you in jail. Be careful, right? So it goes for both sides, but obviously the government is only supporting one side. So it's a little one-sided, right? Anyhow, what's happening there right now is that the British people are going on the street, the right wing and the left wing are going on the street, and there is a lot and more tension coming up, and police, etc., is actually in the middle, and they're not even allowed to do anything because the laws are against them. They can only arrest you when you upset someone on X, on Twitter, on Facebook. Then they're allowed to do something. But if you stab some 25-year-old kid because he's wearing a Rolex in London, and because you don't have food and you don't have work, that's kind of okay. If you don't kill him, you probably don't even go to jail. If you kill him, you need to go to jail. At least 2-3 years. But in jail, you get a PlayStation, you get heating, the food's real nice. And probably if you're not such a bad boy, they probably let you leave over the day and you just sleep in the jail at night. And in most cases, they won't even find the guy because the police doesn't even have the resources. So the government removed the resources, sent hundreds of billions to Ukraine, which is basically called money laundering. Money laundering. If you don't know what it means, Google it. So they sent all this money to a foreign nation without any control, no QuickBooks, no accounting done, right? The money just vanishes in the sky, which is really great for Boris. I'm pretty sure Boris and his offshore accounts are doing quite well the last couple of years. So, this is gonna cause me in trouble, this video. Anyway, so you need to understand that the UK is the leader in Europe, and what's happening in the UK right now, that's actually the only reason why I make this video. What's happening in the UK right now is going to happen in France, it's going to happen in Germany, it's going to happen in Austria, it's going to happen in Italy. All Western Europe is going down the path towards a third world nation, towards a South American nation like Brazil, where the ultra-rich drive around in bulletproof cars and fly helicopters and private jets. And the rest of the populace is basically surviving at $1,000 a month, just making it, being broke on the 10th of each month, not having money to buy food. This is where you're going. If you continue simply accepting everything they tell you, if you continue not speaking your mind, if you continue to not question things with common sense, which basically makes us human. What's the difference between a cow and you, bro? You can question things. The cow, nah, just eats grass, shits and sleeps, and then it's being eaten. We are the top predator on this planet. We got there with common fucking sense, guys. So where's yours? Where's your common sense these days? Well, and that's exactly the problem. All right? So, what do you guys think about the problem in the UK right now? The civil unrest, the protests happening, the government shutting down free speech, not going after crime at all, but going after you saying something against the regime, saying something against the mainstream. The media only reporting lies and garbage and literally only programming the population. What do you guys think? I want to see some comments, I want to see some likes. If you like this content, subscribe to the channel. Chris Agohp here with Agohp Real. I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.